What up, YouTubers, YouTubettes? So today I'm going to be making pyridine, and so to make pyridine we need niacin and copper carbonate. And it's just vitamin B, niacin. It's nicotinic acid or nicotinic. There's two types of niacin acid, and it's the nicotinic, it's the one you want, not the other one. But I'll show you what I'm mixing. Alright, so in that container I have 200 grams of niacin, and in there I have 100 grams or 98 grams of copper carbonate. And so now I'm gonna put them together, and I'm gonna put the lid on and shake it so I get a really homogeneous mixture, and it's got to be mixed very well for this. And once I get there, I'll show you that. Alright, so when you're all mixed, it should look like this, a light blue powder. And so now Doug's lab, he did this, except for he used copper chromate, and his outcome is a lot more efficient. And so if you can make copper chromate, he used 50 grams to 9 grams copper chromate, and that, so if you can do that, that would be ultimately what you'd want to do. You'll have a much better outcome. But this outcome still works, it just takes a while. But I mean, the other method does too, but just that way is more efficient. Alright, so I'm a little ways down the process at this point, and so what you're going to want to do is ramp up your speed slowly till about 200 degrees or so, until you can start seeing the color change down here at the bottom. And so then you're going to want to hold it there for a while, and then after another half hour or so, then you're going to want to turn your temperature up a little bit more. And so now when it gets building up on the glass like this, that's the nicotinic acid. And so you can take a torch or whatever and heat your glass, and it'll melt it and go back down and kind of clean your glass. And so you just distill it, and you can see you get your pyridine in there. And I got water running through there, because that way, with the water running through there, I can't smell it coming through with the water taking all the vapors away. And so the smell of pyridine is toxic. It will make you sick. Like, smelling it will give you an upset stomach almost immediately. It does stink rather bad, and it can give you a headache almost immediately. Those symptoms can happen. And so if you don't have the proper way of doing it, so that you need to do it outside or somewhere that's well ventilated. I mean, that's just a must. Or have it, I'm using a double Liebig condensers with both have water running through them, and it works great that way. But yeah, and so anyways, you just do this, and then it'll cook all the way down. You can see that the layers I've got, so I stopped about halfway because I had to go do some other stuff for a while. And so when I came back, I knocked all the stuff down into the bottom and returned it on. And so the distillation's going fairly quickly again. And that's something that you may want to do. It worked good for me. And so yeah, so then once you get your pyridine in here, that's kind of a crude pyridine and water mixture. And so once I'm all done making it, my pyridine, which I still have a whole nother run I'm going to do after this, because I'm trying to make a decent amount, then I'm going to do some steps to purge the water and purify the pyridine in there. And so when I get to that point, I will be back. Just to give you an idea of the speed that it gets to after I've mixed it and restarted heating again, and see how it drips, I don't know, once every 5 seconds or so, which in the grand scheme of this process, that's hauling ass. I mean, literally. Like, the amount that I'll be doing on this run, on my next run, it'll probably take 12 hours across the whole process. I mean, it's fairly time consuming, but I mean, a lot of it you just set up and put on autopilot and then go from there. But yeah, that's just to give you an idea of it going quickly. Alright, and so I'm done now with 4 runs, and so I did in total 1,000 milligrams of niacin in total, and so this is my yield. So I'm guessing this is probably about 700 mLs. This would be in a liter. And so now I'm going to distill this again to purify the nicotinic acid out as best as possible. And I may distill it twice. But for now I'm just going to distill this once, and then when that gets done, I'll be back. Alright, so I've distilled it all down to about the last, I don't know, 10 or so milliliters of liquid, and kept that out with any other impurities instead, and because I didn't want to heat my glass to dryness anyways. And so now I'm going to pour some 4A molecular sieves in here, just to hold out any extra dryness. And so now, if you use molecular sieves, Loud Wolf is a company who sells them, and they come activated, ready to go. Now, if you don't get them from them, you should ask the company you do, but to activate them, you have to cook them at like 300 degrees for like 15 hours to activate them. And so it's important that you do activate them before you use them. And so anyways, though, the ones I've got, they're already activated and they're clean, and so now I'm just gonna put like, I don't know, 5 grams of them in here, and that's how you make pyridine. So till the next one, guys.